we've done that, I'm gonna come over here. We're gonna work the top of forearms. Now you can see those two bones, the ulna and the radius, they match up perfectly with the bones in your palm. And that's what we're gonna do. So about 1 inch to 2 inches above the wrist, I'm gonna take and my two bones, marry them up to these bones just like that. Hook in, you'll see the tissue move. Ready? Boom, did you see that? Just like that. Now I'm hooked in. I like to take my inside hand. We're just gonna hold hands. We're gonna be best friends while we do this. I like to sit back, and now I'm gonna be moving in this plane. So it is a little bit of down pressure, but really it's shearing away from me. So hook in, just like that, you can see. And I'm gonna just, it's really, really slow. How's that feel, Kristen?
Good.
Now I like to use my bottom hand to move my receiver's hand around. And I do that because sometimes this tissue can get really stuck. And when we're just holding it, it's just like we're gonna sit here forever. And I don't wanna do that. So we're gonna move this around. Kristen's gonna make her, no, she's
talking to Loogie.
She's gonna make these beautiful, I love this noises. And I'm gonna agree with her because it is great. Now I feel more dense tissue on this side, so I'm gonna just lean a little bit with my hand and continue going up, just like that. And again, I'm using my bottom hand to really just continue to move the arm around so I can get a little bit more movement so I'm not here forever. Now I feel a lot of really dense stuff in here, so I'm gonna just like really hook in, lean down a little bit more, and I'm gonna ask Kristen to just, type on the typewriter or move your hand around, act like you're on a computer. She types weird. I don't know who types like that.
I've never typed on a typewriter.
I mean,
so
very
trying to
clearly.
figure this out.
I mean, keyboard, the kind of the same thing.
Okay.
Oh no, that made the biggest difference.
Keyboard. This is typewriter. This is keyboard.
How is that? Anyway, Kristen doesn't know how to use her fingers. Oh, I can. Anyway, it's amazing. So we're just going to continue to go forward all the way up. Okay, and then I'm getting close to that nice elbow joint. I'm going to hold it again and have her keyboard type, not swipe. Oh gosh, keyboards are eventually going to be like obsolete.
We're going to just have implants in our brains.
Right.
And we're just going to type all the stuff with our head.
So for millennials, keyboards, and then what Gen Z is going to be swipe and
Just be something different.
I don't know, something. Anyway, so just have your receiver move their hands around in some archaic way. Very good.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, and I feel more dense tissue up here by her elbow. And you can see all of those muscles, brachioradialis and biceps, brachialis, they all cross over that elbow joint. So really, when you're working the forearm, you're also kind of passively working the top of your arm, your biceps, your triceps, and everything like that, because muscles pass over joints. That's what keeps our joints, doing their thing. So once you've done this a few times, where are we at one time?
17.
Okay. So once you've done that a few times, did you feel that?
Heck yeah, I feel that. Chunky.
She called herself chunky, not me. And I'm just gonna shear up because I'm following where I'm feeling her dense tissue. The more you guys do this, the better you'll be able to feel it and to know where to go. It just takes some time. So as of right now, just make sure that you're checking in with your receiver.
Hamburger hands.
And using your hamburger hands. Everybody likes hamburger hands, right? And checking in with your receiver. So once I've done that, I do like to come in and do some gentle traction. So you can see I've got my legs here, and I'm just grabbing her wrist because that's what feels good, and I'm leaning back. I'm not pulling her with my arms. I'm not using my arms. Got to hold, and I'm leaning. And this feels good for me. Now, some people don't like that on their wrist, so we're going to go above and lean. Some people don't like that. We're going to go to the elbow and lean. Some people are like, oh, my skin, that was me. You can grab a towel or a shirt or something like that to just kind of protect the sensitive baby skin that people have. I can say that because my skin is sensitive baby skin. I also like to do the kind of sliding down the fingers. It's a little bit of traction as well. It just feels good, man. We don't get our fingers worked on as much. And I'm really working the finger muscles. I'm trying not, or actually let me rephrase, I'm not trying to pop the finger joints. If that happens, cool. If it doesn't happen, cool. So just talk with your receiver. Some people are really into that, some people aren't.
No.
So you can see all of the forearm muscles. Do you see how packed our forearms are? I mean, you would think that there's not that much in there, but it's so much. And as you can see, there's a lot of tendons that start trending down towards the wrist. And that's the reason why earlier when we were doing our knees and our feet and the forearm, we wanted to be very, very mindful of the wrist because it is so tendony. So again, I'm just sliding my fingers down Kristen's finger, which is doing some really, really great traction on her arm and her hand and fingers. But I'm also working these muscles that typically are just kind of in a claw because we grab a lot of stuff in life, which is weird, I guess. I'm not sure. So once I've had a chance to do that, I like to come in and just curl my fingers into the palm and then spread like that. Remember how when she was face up, we spread this way? Now we're spreading the top of the hand with that nice fleshy part of our hand. Be mindful, this area is also very tendinous, not a whole lot of really thick muscles unless you got some really strong hands. So you don't want to use tons and tons of pressure, just check in with your receivers. So once you've had a chance to spread, I'm going to just take and bring her elbow and arm up to 90. And I'm going to come in and sit. This feels good for me. This is comfortable. And now I can just work on the palms of her hand. Just like we did when I had her arm here. Now I'm sitting here because honestly, this feels good for me. I'm not bent over and I'm just hanging out. You don't have to do all of these moves. You don't have to do all of these techniques.
But you should.
According to Kristen, you should because they are amazing. But really, the great thing about Thai massage is finding moves that fit you and your receiver. I don't want you guys to do stuff where it hurts you, because if it hurts you, you're not going to want to do it, because who wants to hurt when they're trying to help somebody? No. So we're going to do stuff that feels good for us, and that's the reason why you see variations on positions, variations on approach, because Kristen and I are different people. We have different needs, we have different pressure tolerances, and different bodies. Lean back and do that. Now I'm also going to do the cross body stretch. This really just helps free up the shoulder girdle, specifically the delts, and honestly just feels amazing, and do it all the time. So I like to grab the wrist and just come across just like that. I'm going to have my receiver take a big deep breath in, and then I'm going to lean back. How's that feel? Good. Again, I'm not using my arms to pull her because my upper body's not super strong. Got to hold, and I'm leaning. I'm using all of my body weight to move Kristen, just like that. And I'm going to let her go back down and have a floppy arm. That's another thing. Lots of people have smartwatches. They're awesome. They also get in the way. So I'm going to come in, move my receiver's arm around again. And again, we're just going to do, I'm going to have, you mind lifting up real quick?
Oh, yeah.
And we use palm presses down the arms like we just did, starting in the pecs, as it feels nice. And again, stacking my body weight, just like that. Leaning in. And if you'll see, my bottom hand right below that elbow joint, just like that. I like to come in and rock forward and release. I can feel the tension that she's got here in her bicep. It's a lot. Christian is,
Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because I was tubing.
Yeah.
All that paddling from the low rivers.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I was going to say you were super strong.
It's true, but it's also from trying to get my tube through the water with no flow. Oh, goodness.
So right in this area, I feel that. I'm going to come in with a little bit of a soft heel of my hand, but definitely use more of the palm because it's sharp. And I'm going to lean in. She loves it. That's what that noise was.
I do love it.
Again, I'm going to take my outside bottom hand and I'm just going to move the arm around. She loves it.
She does.
So what this is doing is, as we're moving it around, it's getting the muscles from their attachment, their origin and insertions, and just really kind of pinning them around and squishing them around. Oftentimes when our muscles hurt, it's because they've been stuck in one position. And then when we go to use them, they're like, nah, fam, I don't move like that. We're like, no, you do. So that's what we're doing right here, is we're reminding them that they can move around, reminding them that they don't have to be stuck in this curled up, strong position. So once we've done that, all the way down, really feeling it. I know Kristen's got stuff here, and Kristen's got stuff here, right? I'm gonna do this. And I'm gonna take my inside knee, again, right below the elbow. We don't wanna, cause any damage here. So we're gonna go boop, right there. That feels good, there's a lot of dense tissue. Soft front of our knee, right there, not that point, that's really sharp. Soft front of our knee. I'm gonna come in and just slowly bring it down. Would you like more or less?
That's good.
Okay. Now my hips feel really narrow and I don't feel stable, so I'm going to take my outside knee and just open up. Ah, that feels really good for me. I can sit back, I can do stuff because I'm not all centered in here. So I've got pressure here, and now I have her hand. You can have your receiver move around. I'm gonna have you make a fist, right? Now this is fun. So I like to come in underneath, lift up the hand like this, and then do some articulation. It is intense. Go slow. Give your receivers a chance to process what you are doing, just like that. Another thing, you can see her hand is curled, and it's because I'm pressing on these muscles. So she's got this like little bit of a claw, and I could press in more, and it'll, as we move down, it'll start clawing in more. But what you can do is come in and take your hand and just really open up that whole palm, just like that. Really get that movement in there. And as you can see, I'm using the palm of my hand to just slide and open. This is really great. It's kind of like a myofascial release. I mean, it is a myofascial release because we're not using any lotion and we're just hooking in and stretching and moving stuff around. So now her hand is really, really, really light. So I'm gonna have you take a big deep breath in. And I'm gonna back out just a little bit. And she's got color back. We're gonna use our hamburger hands, just like that. Feels good, get some circulation back in there, but I'm not done because Kristen needs the work. So we were here, I'm now gonna move right there, okay? Again, lower your knee in, not the sharp pointy part. How does that feel? So I've got her trapped again. Obviously respect your receiver's wishes. And I'm gonna come in with my hands, and now we're gonna do all this beautiful hand work. So I like to use my thumbs here. I don't use my thumbs in a lot of places, really only the neck and hands and belly. Everything else is gonna be palms, forearms, and feet and knees, because we use our hands for delicate work and for eating. As you can see, I'm just sliding up, finding all of that dense tissue. Now, your receiver's hands will have, similar but also different areas that need to be worked on. But pretty much everybody needs this nice, big part of the thumb muscle worked. Down here on right by the wrist. And just opening it up. It feels good. It's intense, y'all. It really is intense. But I like to come in too, when we get to our hands, in between all of these joints, because honestly, it just doesn't get worked as much. We claw our hands up all the time. So we're gonna come in and just go in between there, get some nice stuff done. It feels good. You guys can spend as long as you want here. Just be mindful. If your receiver's hands, turn really, really white, like Kristen's, you can see, look how light that is. Like, I'm really white and she's lighter than me right now. And, but if their hand gets really, really light colored, or they're getting numbness and tingling or pain, anything that feels uncomfortable, you're just gonna say, take a big deep breath in. And then we are going to slowly back out. We're gonna watch the color go back into her hand. If the knee on there was too much, you can just sit back here and do hand stuff. Like, how easy is that, right?